Hello and welcome back to another week of the Pierced Off Pod. I'm Danny and today we're actually running a solo app. This is something really new and different for us. This is obviously our first single episode of our entire podcast because Jess and I are always recording them together. We even, found a way to record during COVID when we were living in different places and yeah, so this is our first official solo app, so I hope you're excited for this journey because I don't really know where it's going to take us yet, but I'm excited and I hope you are too. And that doesn't come without nerves, so let's just put it out there that I am a little bit nervous and I am a little bit unsure about how this is going to go, but that's okay. I think grasping the certainty in the uncertainty is all I can do right now, and the certainty is that I know I can do it, and the uncertainty is not knowing where it's going to take us. So I hope you're ready for this journey because it's going to be a good one. And so our first solo app, wild. The podcast has come such a long way since we started it, but here we are, and I think I'm taking this opportunity in a solo app to chat about a couple of things, mostly about showing up for yourself, because sometimes it's easy it is to put ourselves on the back burner and put other people first and not worry about what we need to do for us. It's really, really important to show up for you, and it can make such a big difference in your day. And I think it really leans into the 1% better every day, because you only have to do the smallest thing to show up for yourself if that's all you've got in the tank for the day. And this last week I should say, has been a really great reminder for myself of that, because each day I really lent into showing up for me in all sorts of different ways. And some of those ways were going to the gym, or taking my dog for a walk, or just getting up and getting ready and putting makeup on just so that I felt ready for the day. Like it doesn't matter what you do in order to show up for you, but I think it's just leaning into the fact that you are worth it, and recognizing that and really giving yourself the credit and the time and the attention that you deserve. So it's been a wild week, and I think in showing up for me last week, it has brought a different start to this week, and it's really given me a little bit more, I don't want to say motivation, because I don't think motivation doesn't just appear, if that makes sense. I think it comes down to dedication and determination and everything like that. So in saying that though, I have woken up and started this week with a bit of motivation, which is a good thing, and I'll definitely take it while I have it. But I think it's more than that. And do I think it's just down to showing up for myself last week? Nah, I'd be lying to you if I said that all it took was 1 week. Who do I think I am? But no, I think it's just like I said before, the small 1%ers just make such a big difference when you add them all up. And it's a friendly reminder that you don't just get to 100% in one go. It takes little bit by little bit, and before you know it, everything adds up. And I think it's worthwhile remembering that it's not always going to be easy. And there were certainly days last week that really, really tested me, and part of that was because lack of sleep. I don't know why, but I just haven't been sleeping well, and that's okay, we're dealing with it. But it was a gentle reminder that showing up for myself didn't mean pushing myself hard at the gym, or yeah, basically that, or, you know, trying to fit everything in. It was, you know, reading my book to get some of that feel good feeling, I suppose, but from a more passive way, because I really enjoy reading, and the books I've been reading lately have been great. Or it's been, you know, going outside and getting some vitamin D, or just the little things like that. And I think it's tough still. I don't want to sugarcoat it and say that it's easy. All you have to do is, you know, decide that, oh, you know, I'm gonna do this, and that's showing up for myself today. Like, it's tough, and it is a choice. And I think that's the biggest thing. And if you're someone like myself who puts others first, and, you know, is worried about other people and how they're doing, and if they're okay, and etc., etc., it does get hard to then bring your attention back to you and ask if you're okay, and ask if you need anything. And I think it's a really important thing to recognize if you are putting yourself on the back burner. And I get it, we're busy, life gets in the way, and I think we naturally come from a bit of a mindset of lack, in terms of, oh, I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough energy, or, you know, I don't have this, I don't have that, whatever it is, in order to pour into your own cup. But I think it's really, like, you really, really, really need to lean into that abundance mindset and abundance energy, and know that you do have enough time, and you do have what you need for yourself, if that makes sense. And don't get me wrong, like, days are going to get busy, and you're going to feel like you don't have time. But I know for myself personally, I say, like, I don't have time for that. When realistically, like, how much time did I waste scrolling on socials that day? Like, sometimes you've got to be quite real with yourself and be like, yeah, like, I'm literally lying to myself. I think a big part of this in showing up for yourself is being really honest with yourself, because, like, you need to be self-aware of your thought patterns, because your thoughts obviously play a really, really big role in well, everything about you, because you believe what you think, and sometimes what you think isn't always true. Like that concept of time for me, like, when I say, oh, I don't have enough time to do that, well, that's not true, because I do have time. I just choose to spend my time in ways that sometimes aren't as beneficial as others, and that's okay. Sometimes you need to do that, but, you know, sometimes you need to be really honest with yourself and say, no, like, you know what, it's time to pull back on social media, or pull back on watching TV. Or, you know, for me, at one point, I was working ridiculously crazy hours, and it was like, no, like, I need to dedicate time for me. And, you know, I was doing more than the hours I was supposed to be doing. And I was also I wasn't doing more hours than I needed to, because I needed to do them, but I was prioritizing work over myself and filling up my own cup, and that was really hard. And it was a hard cycle to break, because I didn't want to let people down. I didn't want to let people at work down. I didn't want to let clients down. So instead, I chose to let myself down. And when I look back at that, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit, because, you know, what about me? And I think in those days I got so busy and so consumed about making sure I was, you know, going above and beyond expectations for clients and, like, my work team, that I left me behind. And that, in the end, didn't benefit anyone. So I think it's a really great reminder that, there are periods of, ups and downs of when you can really dedicate so much more time to you and other times where you can't. And that's completely okay. But I think that what's important is, well, at least I know for myself, is that when I say that I'm going to do something and dedicate that time, I need to follow through with that. And I think Jess and I have spoken about this in previous episodes, but the promises that you make to yourself are so important. But not only are they important, like the promise itself, but it's keeping that promise to yourself, because you need to know that you can rely on yourself to follow through. You need to believe that you've got your own back and that what you say you're going to do, you are going to do. And the more that you say you're going to do something and make a promise to yourself and you break that promise to yourself, the less trust you have in yourself to believe that you can do it. And that when it can sound quite like up in the air, but it's true. Like, think about the most simple thing of being like, oh, I'm going to get up at this time. Yes, sweet. And then you sleep in. Okay, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with missing an alarm and deciding to sleep in if you had a bad night's sleep. Like myself, last night, my alarm went off and I had a terrible night's sleep. So I decided to get more sleep, and that is completely okay, right? But if I chose to stay in bed and get more sleep just because I didn't want to get up and, like I said I was going to, well, I'm just letting myself down. And at the time, I don't think of it like that, because at the time I'm like, yes, more sleep, like this is awesome. But in the end, like later on, I'm like, oh man, like I wish I had gotten up earlier, and it's then the next day is the same. And I think to build that trust with yourself, I think it's important to start with small, easy tasks that you can achieve, and ones that you want to achieve, because I think that's a big thing as well, is aligning what you want to do and like what you kind of need to do are two very different things. And saying like I want to get up at 5 a.m. but saying that I'm going to get some sort of movement in my day, well, for me personally, it's a lot easier right now for me to like promise myself that I'm going to get movement in today and actually follow that through, because movement is, like, for me, like walking the dog, going to the gym, whatever it is, right? And it's a promise to myself that I've worked on over time, especially in the last couple of months, and really like made it a priority. Whereas the getting up early for me at the moment, while my sleep is a little bit up and down, I really struggle. And sometimes I have an internal like debate with myself, and I say, you should get up early because then you'll be more tired and hopefully it'll help you sleep better that night. But if I haven't slept well the night before, I like the wake up early is going to be a massive struggle. And I also look at it as to whether it's going to benefit me that day, or whether sleeping in a little bit longer is actually going to be more beneficial for my productivity that day, or my overall mood that day, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter what the reason is, but like I think it's weighing up the pros and cons. And in that moment, I think it's important to remember that you're still showing up for you in a way that you need it, if that makes sense. So I think it's a fine line between keeping your promises to yourself and showing up for yourself, because sometimes you've got to recognize that, yeah, like I said earlier, what your desired outcome is doesn't quite align with what you need, and finding that balance is hard, and it changes on a day by day thing, and like you don't want to put pressure on yourself either. I think that's the biggest thing. I think, when you start to, feel guilty for not following through, or, feeling bad, or, like not seeing the other side of the equation, I think you let yourself down as well, because what benefit does it have by being hard on yourself as well? Like, you've still got to be gentle. I think there's a fine line between being gentle with yourself and keeping yourself accountable, because you need to be accountable, for your decisions and actions and whatnot, to show up for yourself. But there's no point like absolutely, raging at yourself because you didn't do one thing when realistically you made the decision to do the other thing, or whatever it is. So there is still, I think it falls back into that abundance mindset, that abundance energy, that self-love energy, that, everything works out for me energy, that sort of thing. I think each decision has a purpose and it leads to something more. And I think as long as you are coming at it with, good intentions of love, and I don't even know, like just, like wanting to be better for yourself, I think the decision you make will be right for you at that present moment. So, like we always say, be gentle with yourself, show yourself some love. But I think at the end of the day, with that, you got to show up for yourself. That's the whole premise of this episode. And, you've got to have your own back, because at the end of the day, like, we're all out for ourselves realistically. And, no one knows you like you know you. No one knows what you need like you do. And you are the only person who can completely fill up your own cup. You're the only one that knows what you need to do that. You're the only one who knows what you want, like completely to your true core. So don't pretend and say that, oh no, like I don't need to do this for me, or I don't need to, fill up my own cup in this respect. No, like take the time and, be a little bit selfish. Self-love isn't selfish. And it's actually really, really important because you need to be there for you. And I really, really encourage you today, this week, this month, this year, to dedicate some time to you, to just, whether it's pick one small thing that's for you and show up for you. Do that for you, because you deserve it. You honestly deserve the world. So give yourself that. Take the time, take the space, take the opportunities to do something for you. Like you can do anything. Like, read a book for a little bit, or go for a short walk, go to the gym, go for a nap. It doesn't matter what it is. Go for a coffee. Just whatever fills your cup up. And that can change from day to day, week to week, whatever it is. Filling up your cup will look different to everyone every day. But I think we get so caught up with, wanting to, I don't know, like we're so worried about other people that we forget about ourselves. And that's not what I want for you. I want you to put yourself first. Show yourself some love. Be selfish with your self-love, with your time, whatever it is, and fill up your own cup. And at the end of the day, show up for you, because when you feel that you are supported and you back yourself, it makes it a lot easier to show up in other ways as well. So I think we'll wrap it up there. Otherwise I'll probably just ramble and keep rambling. But yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed the solo app, because this has been fun. It's been wild, and my cheeks hurt from smiling. And that's unusual. I mean, I'm an ex-pageant girl. I used to smile all the time. But anyways, yeah, my cheeks hurt from smiling. I've had a lot of fun. I hope you've enjoyed listening to this. Jess, like I said, we miss you. And yeah, there'll be more episodes with the two of us again. But yeah, we'll try this solo business thing, this solo episode thing. Let us know your thoughts. That would be awesome. And yeah, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day whenever you're listening to this. And I'll chat to you soon. Bye! Thank you so much for listening in.
There's absolutely no pressure to do this, but if you're happy to share the podcast with your friends or on your socials and tag us at Pierced Off Pod, that would be amazing.
You can also leave us a stellar 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening on if you're feeling extra motivated today. It really does help us out so much, but ultimately we are just beyond grateful that you're here.
You're also more than welcome to come and hang out with us on our other socials. All of our links are in the description.